This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in Newcastle. You may not recognise who I'm interviewing currently. He's heard this all day. It'll go away by the end of the day, I'm sure. Lewis Ritson, sporting a brand new look. Talk us behind it.
This is the North East answer to the Lockdown 2.0 haircut. So, bowly head, big beard, and I've followed the trend, and I think it suits us all right, to be fair. But that's the vibe I'm getting. Everyone's saying looks good, so I'm going to keep with it.
Do you know what? It's one of these things that people to your face may just say, "Oh yeah, it really suits you, Lewis," but behind it go, "What the fuck has he done?" Right?
The amount of people that I've walked past has not recognised it's me, then I've had to come back and go, "Lewis, I didn't realise it was you." So I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign, but I'll got to go with it now. Can't get out the bubble, so got to keep it. Didn't bring a shave over, so it's hairy style.
It is what it is. But I can tell you that people are talking about it behind your back, but they are saying it suits you. So whatever they're saying to your face, they mean it.
Yes, well, happy days, or could be a couple more fights before we get to the venue on Saturday. It's giving us a very bad grief, but no. It's Rolas doesn't like it. She keeps saying, shave it off, but in my daughter, it's an excuse for us not to kiss her. You can't kiss us now, you got your beard, but I'm going with it. She'll bend eventually.
Right, let's talk about this Saturday night. Fans are back. I think that's one of the talking points of this weekend. Obviously, aside from the fact that there will be 1,000 fans, it will sound probably more like 10,000 fans in the arena this week. So that's brilliant. And you're one of those people, or one of those fighters, should I say, that thrives off kind of that atmosphere inside an arena or wherever you are with your support. Yeah,
100%. The nail on the head there. You know, I didn't think no crowds in the bubble last time would play a big effect as it did. It was horrible. Usually the blading races playing, everyone's going mad, there's loads of noise. The blading races were playing and you could literally hear a pin drop. There was no atmosphere, no nothing. So that 1,000 crowd, especially with the smaller arena, it'll feel like there's 10,000 in there anyway, and it'll be a lot of hustle and bustle.
I'm not sure if you pronounce his name Ponce or Ponce, I'm not sure, but we know who we're referring to. I don't know how you're referring to. I'm
referring to it as Ponce because if you look on everyone's saying the tag Ritson Ponce or Ponce Ritson, it doesn't sound very good. So Ponce, that's what we've come to the conclusion. And yeah, it's going to be a tough fight.
We don't know too much about him here. Obviously, we know he has quite a long-standing undefeated record, but I'm sure kind of you and your team would have done the relevant homework ahead of Saturday night, but what can we expect from him this week?
You know, well, he's been saying in his interviews he's very confident he's going to knock us out, so he's going to come to fight. He thinks he's going to knock us out before 9, so hopefully he comes with that ambition where, I mean, the fights I've seen him in on the YouTube, that's all he does know how to do really, is get in there and fight. So that's the sort of fighter we are, so I think the crowd are going to get a bit of a barnstormer if we both come with that attitude on Saturday night.
We'll talk about kind of what's at stake should you win this fight Saturday in a little while, but I mean, it's been kind of a mad period over the last sort of 3 years, especially for you. You know, your kind of highs in 2018, and then suffering that defeat, and then you're back on the winning trail over the last year or so. But it has been a bit up and down in that respect, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, massive. You know, like at lightweight, we're ranked number 9 with the Ring magazine. Like people were mentioning Lomachenko, Linares, and mad names like that, and we were on the crest where, you know, like, and I can't blame anyone but myself for losing against Matera. I didn't train properly, didn't do the weight properly, and I can't blame anyone but myself. But we were right at the top, and then to get beat to come down. Had to fight the air with Robbie, or wanted to fight the air candidate. We went straight back up there. And then the last performance, you're down back at the bottom in it. It's the way life is, especially with social media these days. It's the belly of the beast, isn't it? And we know that we're going to put another explosive performance on Saturday to get people talking about it again.
I mean, despite, you know, you having those wins, you're talking about Robbie Davis, and you had the win over Miguel Vasquez, but do you think that certain people out there are still kind of judging you on the Patera display?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Like, it doesn't matter if I beat Ponce, if I knock Ponce out early like I used to in the olden days. People will mention Patera and Vasquez, they'll both mention the fights. It's just the way it is, you know, like, it's hard to, once somebody gets a certain side of mindset, it's hard to make them convince them otherwise, isn't it? So but we're just going to keep winning, put the performances, and hopefully one day they'll say, do you know that Lewis was right when he was on the iFilm camera and he was saying he's going to get you and he's going to get there, and we were slating him that he will get there, and I believe I will.
I mean, you mentioned the Vasquez fight there. Obviously, certain people had the opinion about that fight. I mean, I always kind of point out that whatever the decisions are in a fight, it's not down to the fighter. You've gone in there, you've done what you could do. So has Miguel Vasquez, and people believe that Vasquez didn't get the decision, etc., etc. But that's not really a thing against you. You've gone in there and, like I said, done what you did, and it's kind of out of your hands once the 12th round ends.
Yeah, I think it is, but you know what it is? I think what didn't help it was the long delay, and I think the longer the delay when people were in the pubs and at home having a few more drinks, so by the time it happened it was late at night, people were mortal, and honestly I must have got over 2,000 personal messages on Twitter like, retire now, you shit, you this, you that, and I think, I couldn't be asked to message someone 1:30 in the morning giving them stick, like this happened for weeks, and I was thinking, what's going on? Yeah, so I had to deactivate my Twitter just to get away from it. My niece, who, she's deaf and both, she's got 2 hearing aids, and she was getting inboxes because she's on the social media, she was getting, your uncle's this, your uncle's that, and I thought to myself, when does it end, you know what I mean? So I had to deactivate everything and just take a step away and come back, and it's just life, like, I personally think I got the rub of the green against Vasquez myself, but there's nothing I can do to change that. The British Boxing Board come out and said they weren't going to change it, they were happy with the result, that's not down to me, that's down to them, and it's like you say, I can do nothing about it, but you're the one that gets stick at the end of the day.
It's just that it's a crazy mentality that you're watching boxing, people that that don't know you, that never met you, they watch you fight, and their first thought process after that fight is to write things like that into your social media accounts, or whether they tweet it to you, or I think if they're DMing you, I think it's a little bit more personal. It's almost like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's it is personal, and like there's some of the stuff where it's nice and you feel, you can see you start writing back and start slating people back, and then you get, we can't have an opinion, and it's like, well, that's not an opinion, that's like griefing someone, if you said, I thought you got beat, Lewis, better luck next time, that's an opinion. You should have threw the jab a bit more, that's an opinion, but not, you're fucking shite, you're this, you're that takes it like a little bit, and especially when your young niece is getting stick as well, like, it just doesn't matter how nice of a guy you are, it just seems to happen, doesn't it? Like, you'll get it in some videos where you were shite interviewing him, KUGAN didn't ask the proper questions or this or that, but
I get that regularly, by the way.
But what more can you do? Do you know what I mean? You're there, you've got your questions, and if people don't like them, just say, we didn't like them, don't slate you. But it's the way the world is, isn't it?
It's almost like that similar mentality of like boxers out there that go into fights or big fights, and they might not like them, which is up to them. Everyone's obviously entitled to their own kind of thoughts or opinions, but it's like I've seen people that will DM boxers saying, hope you get knocked out on the weekend. I mean, I just think, what kind of place are you in your life to DM a boxer that just before they're going to go into like a huge fight?
No, especially when quite a few boxers do get knocked out, don't they? It's not like it's one or rare that doesn't happen, and I don't know, they must have, I don't know what it is, it's a social media, like quite a few were women actually, but like quite a few profiles on mine were names that were made up and pictures of daft things, like, and you think, well, you don't even know who they are, like, and it's a sad life if you're going to inbox someone and give them a bit of stick, like, it's just, there's nothing you can do about it. You're sitting there at home, woman pulling your hair out, going, I'll kill this if I ever see him, and then the next day you're like, it doesn't bother us, but it does get you a little bit.
This is the best way I can sum this up. Has anyone ever come up to you in real life and said to you, Lewis Ritson, you're shit, or Lewis Ritson, you should retire? Has anyone come up to you, stood this far away and said that to your face?
No, they haven't. Do you know what it is?
That sums it up though, doesn't it?
It does, but you'd probably give them more respect for doing that, like you would go, hey, you'd probably give them one of them as well, like we go, hey, fair play, you've said what you're going to say, then boof, sit down, but that's just the world we live in, and it's never going to change, not going to change. You just got to try and find a way to mentally just get on with it.
Well, let's push all that negative stuff aside. I spoke about this briefly at the start of this interview. There is such huge incentive for you to come through Saturday night, is there? Because you put yourself in a very, very strong position for a certain Mr. Josh Taylor.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping Josh Taylor does the right thing and move up and vacate him if I get past Ponce. After watching him against Ramirez the other week, thinking I don't want none of that. But yeah, no, hey, Josh is special, but I know, like, I hope the talk of him fighting Crawford actually does come off, and then if I can't get past Ponce, we're fighting for a vacant title against, obviously, someone it's going to be a hard fight, but someone who's a little less not as good as Josh, do you know what I mean? So, because he's leading the pack at the minute and he's a special fighter.
But it's not, I mean, I know you're talking a little bit tongue-in-cheek there, but if the fight presented itself with Josh Taylor, then you're a fighter, you'll fight.
Yeah, of course we will. I mean, like, we're fighters. You know, it's never fighters who are knocking back fights over fights. It's management and promoters that don't make fights happen, isn't it? Like, when you see top fights happening, like Fury and AJ would fight each other tomorrow, wouldn't it? If it was up to them, just promotional people and the managers and getting in the way, like, of course I'd fight Josh Taylor. He's the best. I want to prove myself against the best fighters, but you know, you need a bit of luck in this sport, and if there's certain fighters that can just do a little like a little loop around it.
You're being honest. This is what's great to listen to you talk like this, because you're being honest.
Yeah, but he's one of them, isn't he? Like, so I mean, would I fight Josh Taylor at St James's Park in front of, because it would sell out. It would pay-per-view. I'd get myself a lot of money, but I'd probably become off second best. Where I would rather fight someone at St James's Park where I've got a better chance of winning for a vacant world title.
It's an interesting situation because it's not a common situation where someone is undisputed at the weight. There is a few at the moment, but it's not a regular occurrence. So I suppose when Taylor gets put a mandatory and then he's got another mandatory coming, I always think, like, it's the same with Canelo. If he beats Caleb Plant and wins all the belts at super middleweight, I don't see Canelo just fighting all the mandatories. I think once you've done it, you've kind of done it. There's nothing really more to do at that weight.
What I was getting the sense of Matchroom is that IBF's probably the strictest out of a lot of them. So they were saying if this is final eliminator, you'll fight on the weekend, and if you win, the letters will probably get sent out on the Monday or the Tuesday saying you've got the 90 days. So I think I know Josh got a mandatory against Jack Catterall for the WBO. He's chasing obviously the Terence Crawford fight. He's got the WBA, the WBC, so they'll probably be giving him mandatories as well. So it's just all like, even though he's got all the belts, who knows what's happening? It's all mental, isn't it? So, but I'm hopefully, if we get past Ponce, the letter goes out and Josh Taylor can go, well, I might be moving up, so I'll vacate that one.
But I mean, listen, before the talk of any of that, obviously I know we're speaking about it now because it's what potentially could be for you after Saturday night, but you've got a job to do this Saturday that you're fully focused behind.
Oh, fully focused, you know, and I'm not overlooking Ponce in the slightest. You know, this is the latest I've come in on fight week for the last couple of years. You know, I'm only £1.5 pound overweight, still drinking a couple of litres a day, eating. I've took this fight very seriously. I've trained very hard, and if Ponce is a better man on Saturday, I'll shake his hand and say, you've been a very good Lewis Ritson.
Are we seeing a different Lewis Ritson, not just physically, or aesthetically, shall I say, but are we seeing a different Lewis Ritson come Saturday night from what we used to, or not? Yeah,
I believe so. I mean, I'm very relaxed. It's probably the most relaxed I've been in a long time around the cameras and the interviews and stuff, because usually I hate this sort of thing. I'm all right today. I'm happy. I'm smiles on the face. I'm nice and relaxed. So yeah, you know, I'm back with my dad now, and Trey's training full time, and just want to get back to that explosive Lewis that when we were on that little run everyone was talking about, where we were hitting hard, we were exciting people, and that's the Lewis Ritson that I want to come back.
Well, listen, nearly went over then. Yeah, it's great to see you kind of back in Newcastle, especially with fans there, because I think that the fans will kind of really kind of push you on Saturday night. Not saying you need that, but I'm saying it always helps with that kind of atmosphere on any fight night, especially for somewhere like Newcastle. No,
Newcastle, I know we've been here a few times. You feel the atmosphere; it goes mad, and especially against someone like Ponce, who's going to come and fight. And I like the fight. There's going to be probably a couple of moments in that fight where we're going to have to dig deep, and that's when the crowd comes into play. They've got 1,000 people screaming and shouting, and then you seem to pull that extra level. So that's what we're hoping on, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay, well, Lewis, appreciate your time as always, and I'm sure we'll grab a word with you at some point before the fight again. It's only Wednesday, so just wish you the best of luck and get the job done, and then whatever happens after that happens.
Yeah, thank you, Coogie Bear, should I say? That's the name, Coogie Bear. I appreciate it, mate.
No problem. Lewis Ritson, thank you very much.